Hi, I'm Southside Steve. That's my co-host Brett Barney, and this is a Spot on the Couch brought to you by the Yeah Come On Show. With us right now is Tom. What's your last name?
Heinz.
Tom Hines.
Yep.
Tom Hines is a friend of one of our sponsors, Ted Jenkins of Oxygen Financial. And Tom, you're an actor.
I have done some acting in my day, yeah.
When people recognize you,
It's if I say a couple of things, like,
give a couple of your lines in some of the movies you've been in.
Okay, Exit Eden with Dan Aykroyd and Rosie O'Donnell. May I please you?
Yes, you may, Tom.
And,
of course.
And you can't. The boat already left. So those are my two lines from Princess Diaries.
Nice. What about that other movie?
Runaway Bride?
Yeah.
That's the one you like.
Yeah.
Runaway Bride, where did you get Julia Roberts? That was actually probably the most dialogue I've had because there was a lot of announcing.
That got you your sidecar, didn't it, Tom?
I had it before, but that was when I actually got to work with Joan Cusack, who was famous.
You were her husband.
I played her husband. She was so disappointed. She's like, I thought they said Tom Hanks. I'm like, no, it's Tom Hines, assistant to Gary Marshall.
Is it spelled the same way as Heinz ketchup?
No, unfortunately.
Shit. I was hoping you had some flow, bro.
I have no flow, bro.
Damn.
Flow
Tom
means something different in my generation.
What?
Hair.
Hair?
You got that flow, dog.
I got flow. You got flow. You got as much hair on your chest. Brett Barney, that's hot. Are you enjoying sitting
Chest
next
to
to
the
us?
ball for us.
Yeah.
Having a spot on the couch. I tell you what, right now, Tom, can you tell us a story?
I can. I will tell. Let me tell you a little story. I'll tell you a Gary Marshall story because this is who I work for a lot of in Hollywood.
Gary Marshall basically discovered you. You were a bartender at a bar that he frequented and thought you had game.
I was waiting tables, and I never gave him anything he was allergic to, and I think he appreciated. He said he's thoughtful, he's got attention to detail, he can maybe work once in a while.
Gary's dead, but he was allergic to vinegar and mustard.
Mustard, very much so, yeah. And,
And
he thought that Diet Coke solved everything. If he thought he ate some mustard, this mustard, give me a Diet Coke, quick! And he oh, I'm okay. I'm all right. It was so strange. Everyone knew it wasn't going to save his life if he did. But
Can you tell everybody that Penny Marshall, otherwise known as Laverne and Shirley, that was her brother, not her father?
Correct. Gary was 10 years older than Penny, but he'd even say, I'm Penny's brother, not her father. Her father, interesting fact that you'll appreciate, maybe the youngers won't, but in Laverne and Shirley, there was Mr. Schatz. They worked at Schatz Brewery.
Yes.
And Mr. Schatz was in the cafeteria. That was their dad.
Oh, my God.
Tony Mascherelli.
Can't remember him, but I'm going to go back and watch.
Yep. Tony Marshall was always the face of Mr. Schatz on
Oh.
Laverne and Shirley.
What's your story?
My story, Runaway Bride. And there's a scene in Runaway Bride where Julia runs from Richard Gere and she hops on the FedEx truck. Remember that?
I totally remember that. And she's going to drive off, and he starts to chase.
She gets in, he starts to chase, and they go to Hector Elizondo, and then Rita Wilson says, Where do you think she's going? And he says this great line. He says, I don't know, but wherever it is, she'll be there by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And
That's funny.
It cracked us up on the day. It got a big laugh in the movie. But they needed an eye line, and they couldn't get the truck for the cinematographer to get it right. They needed somebody, and the cinematographer's explaining. He says, well, we've got the truck leaving, but the eye line for Hector and Rita, it's not where we can't with the truck. And Gary's like, so we need somebody to run. And I'm like,
who's that?
I've got my fanny pack, I got boots on, I was drinking at the time, so I was probably a little hungover. And he says, and I hear him go, Tommy, you're running. And I'm like, oh my God, and I literally ran as the FedEx truck. 100-yard dashes, probably 10 takes in boots.
Enough with the takes.
Are you doing okay, mister? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm like, I gotta do it. I'm gonna drop dead if I drop that. Medic came over, gave me potassium tablets. He's like, are you okay?
Eat this banana.
I'm like, you gotta tell him I'm okay. I can do another take. I'm not even on camera. I'm running. I'm playing the FedEx truck. He did it to his daughter Kathleen in not Frankie and Johnny, Nothing in Common, which was a great movie with Tom Hanks and Jackie Gleason.
I love that. Jackie Gleason was a kid salesman. He sold kids' clothes.
Yeah.
And it was all based in Chicago. I love that.
And he gambled. There was a horse track scene, and they needed an eye line, and Kathleen played the horse because obviously they couldn't reset the horse and run. So his daughter Kathleen did a lot of running. So we always commiserated about that.
Well, I got to tell you, Tom Hines.
Yeah.
Tommy.
Tommy, doesn't matter.
Tom Hines. actor, good friend of Mr. Marshall's.
Yeah.
Which is pretty huge.
Yeah, very huge.
You mind?
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, come on! First time ever I lost my hearing. Oh my God, help me, stab me back in there. I can't find, oh, there it is. Oh my God, the music, I got too into it. I had a malfunction on stage there. Lost my hearing, it is hard to remember. I will tell you, I don't know if love's walked through the door or an effing nightmare, but he's back. A return guest, our first return guest. You are listening or watching the Yeah Come On show, brought to you by Oxygen Financial. 2 locations in the Metro, Buckhead and Alpharetta, where our studios are right here in the Alpharetta Square. Just go to Ted Jenkin. Ted Jenkin will take care of you. That is the man you look for. OxygenFinancial.net. Ted handles my money, my mother's money, my brother's money, my father-in-law's money, my sister-in-law's money, everybody's money but Brett Barney's money, because Brett Barney don't have no money.
Ain't got none.
Ain't got no money. So therefore you can't handle what you don't have. Damn it. We are going to go into our Yeah Come Oners. We call them the Come Oners. These are people that actually have comments about this fine program. And I'm going to break a rule here. For the very first time, I'm going to let my guest participate. I'm also going to intro my guest early, because I know for a fact this guest can't sit over there quiet for the amount of time that I'm going to do this, so I have to let him in. He is a man that started somewhere doing radio as Fast Larry Wachs in upstate New York. He did a little bit of that, then he gets blown out, then he's unemployed, then he decides, hey, I want a job. He goes to L.A., gets blown out. Hey, I want to go to Atlanta, comes here, becomes the regular guys in 1998 at 96 Rock, where I got to meet him, and then there was a blowout, and then another blowout, and here he sits. How's that?
Yeah, come on!
It's hard to get it all in, but just raise your hand. How many times have you been fired?
I'm a come-oner.
I know you. Are you a come-oner?
Yeah.
You make comments? You do make comments. You have gone online and made comments about this program.
Let me just say something.
Matter of fact, you asked to be back on it because you've had the highest amount of views of any of our guests.
I noticed in the views, my episode blows away anybody else.
By about 1,000.
Yeah.
Definitely. Is it in the top 3, Brett Barney?
It's
Tim and Kimmer,
Yeah, you and
neck
Kimmer.
and neck.
So then what I did was I went through my files of the Regular Guys Review podcast, the greatest radio story ever told.
Ding.
And I saw, much to my delight, that the Southside Steve episode, one devoted to his talents and his antics over the years, that was the #1 episode in the Regular Guys Review podcast.
Because that was the best thing that ever happened to your career. You just didn't know it.
You were one of the best things.
Yeah, hell, the best.
I think you were better for my career than most.
What? Who are you comparing me to? First off, speaking of comparing. Eric, okay. Yeah.
Eric was good for my career.
He was.
He was a good partner.
He was your coach.
He was funny.
He followed you
He
across
got
the country.
me. He got my humor.
Yeah, he did. Y'all both very intelligent.
Tim was a big help. Mm-hmm. And there's people you don't know. My dad, old man Pickle Nose, who invented the phrase, that's what she said.
That's what she said.
And other things. He's the one who invented the catchphrase, excuse me, go fuck yourself.
Which is...
That's what gentlemen say.
Damn, I've never said that to anybody, but I dig it.
Yeah, but because you didn't say, excuse me. It's okay.
Hey, I'm going to tell you to F off, but if I say excuse me first, is it all right?
Well, you don't ask that way. You just go up to somebody and say, excuse me.
Excuse me.
When you get a chance.
If you got the time.
If you got the time. Do me a favor.
Take a moment.
Go fuck yourself.
So your dad was the original Ricky Bobby? With all due exception, go fuck yourself.
He was born in 1939, so of course he predated Ricky Bobby. Those writers probably stole it.
Wait, he coined That's What She Said? That's a huge one.
Yeah.
Well, The Office took that and ran.
Why do you think I can live like a king with no employment for 5 years.
Dude, it must be nice. I would feed
It
off.
is nice.
I would feed off my father's tit if I could.
Yeah,
Or-
come on!
Or is it teat? Is it teat or tit?
Both.
Well, either one.
Either one.
I do want to introduce
Tots.
Brett Barney, my co-host, and then the on again, off again Tyler Maynard, who's actually looking a little like Larry today.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
shave.
matching them. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Except you don't have your ball cap. I'm used to you seeing your schoolboy leftist ball cap.
No, I'm a little
Leftist?
more mature looking today.
What is the leftist ball cap? That's interesting.
You know, it's just one that doesn't have logos, fits really tight, and it just it's
like they wore in Mao Zedong's China?
Yeah, it screams.
Sure, yeah.
It's
A Mao hat.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go that far.
no, a little bit. It's
Well, no,
like,
he's right. I mean, he's not saying you're a commie.
no, it's just a
He's
common
saying that's a
person's hat,
commie style hat. It's like the Nehru jacket. Where did that
Yeah.
come from?
Yeah, yeah,
It wasn't
no.
the Beatles who started that shit.
but you think about
It's
it.
a
when-
guy named Nehru.
But when you see a tight ball cap that's like dark in color and there's no logo on it, it just screams, I ride scooters, I vote left, and I live with my mother. Or I would love to.
Right. Okay.
Oh, man.
I just like beating up.
Yeah,
we
it
have
does.
Tyler's mother on every once in a while. If she
How,
calls
I've
in,
never
I'll
met her. Is she nice?
But
How old is your mother?
I'll tell you right
She's
now.
old.
I'm about 60 years old.
She's
and I
60?
love,
No, she's like 72.
72. Shut up, boy. That's Larry. I'm imitating Larry.
Okay, yeah.
But no, I love my little Tyler. He's a good boy. He's with that Southside Steve, and he's helping his career.
Is she black, your mother?
Apparently.
We don't talk about. Do we have to bring up color? So what if she
So all
is?
black
It's just
people talk
interesting.
alike, huh?
It's interesting because you look nothing
That's my
like
baby Tyler.
You look nothing like her.
I'm Mrs. Tyler.
I was curious how he chose that accent as well.
I don't know.
But we've decided on it.
His
We
mother,
stuck-
yeah, she's a sweet woman. So, do you have any quick comments for them from the come-oners before we get started with God knows what?
These are the people who, follow your website or your Twitter or...
Instagram,
Instagram.
Twitter, Apple Podcast,
Come oners.
feed, YouTube.
You like that little come-oners?
I like it. I
Yeah,
like
Brett
it a lot.
came up with it. I like
I'm
it.
not going
I
to
love
forget it anytime soon. That's for sure.
That's the key.
We got Brett goes to Europe and comes back looking like Porky the Pig's cousin.
What? Somebody's calling you fat.
Yeah, Steve was last episode.
Do you think you're fat?
I definitely could lose a few pounds,
How much
but
would
I
you
don't
like
really
to
care.
lose?
I think that's relative to the situation. I wouldn't want to be under 180 pounds. I think
we're-
that's small.
What are we dealing with now?
Right, I fluctuate between 215, 220.
How tall
that
are you
serve
again?
your-
5'9".
Okay.
Do you have any problems with that weight?
No,
There's no
then
reason
it doesn't
to
matter.
change.
Yeah,
Once you start encountering problems with that weight, then you...
Like
Yeah.
your back's hurting?
yeah.
That
I
type
don't-
of thing?
If my back hurts, it's because I lifted improperly or something like that.
Real manly.
Yeah.
All I did was I
Come on, you
noticed.
used to do push-ups during your show.
Used to.
Yeah. I did notice that he gained about 7 to 10 pounds while he was gone for only a week in Germany.
You went to
I
Ger-
noticed.
well, I went to Germany too, and I gained. It's all fried, greasy shit.
It's fried
cold and-
schnitzel or sausage. That's
All
all,
they-
in potato. Yeah,
and beer. A lot of beer.
because it was Oktoberfest. I mean, that's all it
going
was.
to put weight on you. There's no doubt.
I
About
think you'll lose it.
Yeah, maybe one day. He also wrote, if Steve has any more kids at his age now, then Amanda is going to have to push him in the wheelchair at his graduation unless she leaves him at the retirement home.
it. Are you going to have another one?
We're trying right now
You're trying.
as I speak. Yeah.
It only takes one day, right? I mean,
Oh, with us,
what
yeah.
are you doing that's adding weeks?
No, nothing. We got pregnant the first time within 40 days, and we're at that mark right now of me trying. So for all I know, she is pregnant.
So you've been screwing for 40 straight days.
Not 40 straight days. She has that ovulation kit, so she knows like when it's good to hit.
Isn't that romantic?
It is. She's like, today's a good day, or this whole
The
weekend.
second you said ovulation kit, I got hard.
It's the sound of love.
Ovulation kit. Oh,
Ovulation.
oh, my
kit.
nipples. They're getting so
You're
rock
my-
hard.
You're my man, and you will now have me. Have me.
So what? So what if it goes past 40 days? Are you going to worry? Are you going to panic?
No, man, I think I got it early. I think we're good. You're the
you-
one.
now,
You,
do
you
you-
had me test my swimmers, remember? And
I remember.
I'm a 4.5 on a scale of 5, so I think I'm all right.
But that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, but they're still swimming. I can tell.
He never
you-
said that when he told
can
us
tell,
this
yeah.
stat. Yeah, he was like, it was almost like, I was at the office yesterday and they called me right before we started recording.
No,
I didn't know that was 10
How
years
can you-
ago. Like,
I don't know
even
that it was
Tyler's
10.
in shock.
No, I don't know that it was 10. I think he just threw out a number. Maybe it was 9.
Right. Okay.
8. I'm good.
But
There's still
now, where do you stand? Do you want now? Let's say you're unsuccessful. Is that going to crush you, or are you going to say, "Oh well, I take it or leave it"?
I think it would crush me a little bit because I think my wife wants one. So I
But
think
what do you want?
I want what she
I know
wants.
she wants it, clearly. I mean, I'm not under the illusion that any of this second child thinking was your idea. It's just not the way it works.
No,
It was totally Amanda's idea, right?
I want another child. Did my eyes look left? Does that mean when I'm lying?
You look like you're lying, so, you know.
No, I don't want my son. I'd be the first to say I don't want him
You
to
don't
be.
want your son?
Well, no, I want him.
I mean,
I love him dearly. Hold on.
okay, was I the only one that heard
What
that?
just happened in these
Well,
headphones?
You know what?
Right.
Wait, y'all just you cut me off
Are you going to
mid-sentence.
kill you? Are you going to be like
No, I love him.
Abraham with his son?
Brooks,
Hoping God swoops in to save him?
the knife will go in. No, Brooks, I love you. There's nothing to fear. What I was going to say is I said I don't want Brooks, more to say in the sentence, to be an only child. I don't want him to be an only child. I want him to have a brother or sister.
Well, why? You know, I have an only child. My daughter's an only child.
Yeah, and I think
And
you
if
messed up. You should have had another.
Well, she doesn't know any different. It's
Yeah.
like if you only know yourself as an only child, you just.
But what happens? I remember the only children in my neighborhood.
Hold on, I've asked her. You know, she
Okay.
can speak now. She's 27. So I said to her, "Do you mind being an only
Congrats.
child?" And she said, "No." That's what did you want a brother or sister? No. I don't know.
Larry, what about people that have 27-year-old children that can't speak? How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel bad for them.
No, good.
Yeah. They should be institutionalized.
Just saying.
Terrible.
No.
They shouldn't be on the streets.
No, what I'm trying to tell you is that it would have probably been cool, but think about it. When it starts to rain, at least I remember growing up, when it rained, I had to come home. We all went into our houses, and I'm like, well, I got two brothers to play with. But I look at all my friends that were only children. I'm like, must suck to go in
And
by
see,
yourself.
I was raised with a brother and a sister, and I couldn't wait for them to leave, get the fuck out of my sight.
You
I mean,
didn't
I used to-
enjoy them?
I used to beat the shit out of my brother because he was annoying me. I wanted to, sit in my room and beat off whatever, and he was always coming in and
How old were you?
stirring up shit. He's only a year and a half younger than me.
Yeah, but you guys at whack early, man. There's an issue there. You're not supposed to whack. I didn't whack till I got laid. I was an
I whacked
18-year-old
because
whacker.
my pervert uncle showed me porn when I was, 9. What are you going to do?
So, yes, Larry, to answer your question now that we're back and your camera's working, I am looking to have 2 children, and that is it. If my wife has twins, then I'll have 3. But I promise
Oh,
you,
wow.
2 is it, and I think I'm going to offer to get fixed. I think I will.
What are you going to
Give me
offer
my-
to get fixed? What does that mean?
Meaning I
Why don't you
can't
just get fixed. Why do you need her permission?
No, meaning I
you
won't
owe her
ask
money? What's
no,
going on?
I won't ask her to do it. I'll do it. I don't want to ask her to do it.
No. I'm saying, why do you have to ask Amanda to get permission to get a vasectomy?
No, I said I would offer going, okay, one of us needs to get fixed. I'll do it. That's kind of what I'm saying.
It's like a cow saying to a farmer, do I have permission to stop giving milk?
No, I'm just going to just get.
She owns you. If you have to ask permission about your balls, I mean, that's
No,
unbelievable.
but I'm going to look at her and go, hey, I'm going to do you a solid. I know one of us needs to get fixed. I'll take the
Don't
hit.
even tell her. That's
I
my
gotta-
advice. You can take it.
I think I got to tell her because
Why?
I don't know. What if she did want
Tell her after you did it.
Yeah, but I don't know. My brother did that, and that didn't go well. His wife was like,
Well,
I
then
really
she
wanted
owns- well,
another
then-
child.
Well, then she owns you. I mean, that's
Well,
just the way it is. That's
I
an
can't-
unbalanced relationship.
No, a balanced relationship is caring about one another. It's 50-50 and saying, hey, I'm about to
All
stop.
right, here's what you do. You ready?
You can't just go do that.
You sit her down and tell her, I'm doing this. Don't ask.
That's a great relationship.
Just go the old fashioned.
I'm
Listen,
getting fixed.
I
and
want to
that's
give you a
what
heads.
it is.
Yeah, I want to give you a heads up. I'm getting fixed.
I want you to know I'm having a surgery.
Right, I've had enough of getting people pregnant. I'm done with it. I'm 53, 4,
4 or 5, it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
and it's like it's not a time to be spreading my seed anymore.
I'm
It's-
younger than Tony Randall.
I'm in the autumn of my life. I'm not in the spring like you. Now, I gave you enough spring to spring, and I'm done spring, especially if I have twins. I don't know why you're staying in the game, dude. I mean, what are you going to... You have hope like after post Amanda, you're going to get some strange that wants to get pregnant? I mean,
No.
it's a fantasy.
No. I have no problem. You're right. I'm done. There's nobody else I've ever met that I wanted to have kids with but her. So I married the right one for that reason. All the rest, I'm like, I want to have fun, but I don't want to have kids with you.
419th is the charm.
It was. The other 418, no offense, I enjoyed you, but I did not want to have children with you. And I got to tell you, I was very controlled. And my wife and I even went 2 years without her on the pill. And I did all the right things, and boom, no kids. And then the second I try, I get one. So I've got pretty good control. That's one of my asterisks when I look at myself.
I've had enough of this. Let's talk about me.
All right.
That's why I'm here.
I know. All right. Well, here's the thing in talking about you. Did you had one more comment that relates to Larry Wachs?
Yeah. This one says.
Is this from a come oner comment?
This is a come oner.
A comment?
Please do not bash our fans.
Barney.
What if they bash me?
Well, I mean, you're a guest.
yeah.
They can bash it. They can bash any of us.
I don't care.
Well, I don't want to get bashed.
You allow it. I don't.
All right.
Barney is one fat ass talentless motherfucker. Maynard is still a limp-wristed liberal piece of shit.
I would kick him out of your come oner club. That guy's an asshole.
Steve, eat a dick.
It's that same guy from last week?
And give Larry a go fuck yourself from me. Southside Steve is a pussy if he doesn't say to Larry's face what he's been saying in his absence.
What if I said in his absence?
Nothing that I can't see, too. So this guy.
Yeah. Duh.
It's like,
Larry was an asshole for many years. He knows it.
I watched the Come On show. Very successful asshole.
Yes.
I'm the Donald Trump of Atlanta radio. There's just no doubt about it. I shake people up. I scare the shit out of the deep state.
Does it bother you that we were never syndicated?
We were, briefly.
We were in Dallas,
I wasn't
Texas.
into that. It just didn't matter to me.
But it's money.
It was money. But it just...
Why we do it.
It was. I found out it was more of a hassle than it was really worth. It's just...
Yeah.
I see Bert, he's like on so many pills because of the stress of syndicated.
Oh, it's definitely a tough life. I don't think you can keep it up for too many years. It's got to be
on pills.
Unless you have a huge staff,
Right. And that takes management and it's everybody. I got enough egos in this room with one city syndication. I'm going to have 18 more after the Crown.
Boom. After the Crown. Mm-hmm. All right, now you have actually filled out a lovely outline. How would you like to do it? Now, I know we have some drops from our show. This would be the regular guys on 96 Rock as well as Rock 100.5, I think.
Yes, there are both. I would like to get into your podcast and talk to you about
so would I. The
All
Regular Guys Review podcast,
Yes,
in
sir.
case you haven't heard it, is just a loving tribute and just a real genuine story. And you can vouch for it because you were there. A real genuine telling of
I got 13 years.
the greatest radio show in Georgia history. And the most unique. I mean, it's just we've carved a good niche and we're proud of it. And I wanted to share that pride with the listeners who've been clamoring for it for a long time. Not a day goes by where we're all not approached by somebody on the street. I was up in Helen, Georgia over the weekend. Some guy staring at me, and he comes over and introduces himself and asks if I'm Larry Wachs, and I said yeah, and we had a nice conversation. But that happens so much in all over the state, and I just wanted to tell the story that people can get into, and a little bit behind the scenes, not too much, and not a lot of negativity and that kind of thing. And use it to talk about the things that were really going on in the news, in our lives, and I really enjoy making it too.
And you have several. There's what, like 8, 9 episodes.
There's 8
now?
so far, and I think there's going to be one more, and I'm going to leave it be. And it's going to be a big one, the finale about 9/11.
I remember that day.
Right, we all did a great job. I mean, we did. You remember at the time. Like Jon Stewart and Letterman, they were afraid to go back on the air. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they had their reasons, but it looks like fear.
Right.
We weren't. We went on the air. We were on that day, and then we came back for another 6-hour marathon because we felt it was our job to talk to the people. They're just as scared as we are. We're probably more scared because we're public figures, and who knew that day was scary as shit. People have been told to forget it, but it was scary as shit. Everybody was traumatized.
No, it was our Pearl Harbor. I'll never forget it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it
Exactly.
really was. It totally was an attack on our land, and thousands of people died, and happened in real time. Except with Pearl Harbor, you weren't seeing it the way we were.
You weren't seeing it 24/7.
No, man,
Right.
It was crazy. The coverage. I think it's the last time I really watched CNN. Was 9/11. After that, I got tired of CNN. But
and then everybody was scared, and on top of it, we start getting these bullshit answers to what happened, like some Arab on kidney dialysis with a satellite phone in the middle of the desert is somehow masterminding these schmucks that get on a plane and just learned to fly 2 months ago. And and the building melted. No, it fell, and the one that wasn't hit fell symmetrically, like it was a detonation, an explosion. So this adds to the trauma. It's like we're beginning to think that now, follow the money 20 years later, who really benefited from 9/11, you'll find out who did 9/11. And it's looking like people on our team did it. So
you know what? And there's a lot of people listening right now think you're crazy as crap. I take 3 steps back.
Yes, but more and more are starting to see things, because I'm just like y'all. I believe Osama bin Laden did it, and the more I look at it, none of it adds up. He didn't make any money. He's dead now. And then when they killed him, what do? They just buried threw him in the ocean.
Well, you know what?
Proper burial. I mean, come on.
And all right, let's think about it. You killed
when the Rosenbergs got executed for treason. They were given a proper burial. Osama bin Laden,
dump him in the ocean.
Right.
It's just like a turns the frogs gay kind of thing.
No, but hear me out.
Alex Jones.
Well, it comes out of the lips of that man too, but it doesn't make it invalid.
Here's one thing I'll bring up that I've always wondered, and this kind of jumps on the bandwagon of where Larry, is headed. You look at Osama bin Laden. Okay, they said that they had to dispose of his body within like a day or 12 hours due to their belief system.
Right.
And I'm like, why do we give, honestly, 3 shits about their belief system?
Right.
It's not like they're not going to hate our guts and burn American flags because we killed the guy. So you think we're going to earn respect because we disposed of him properly?
That's right. Exactly right. And that is common sense.
Yeah, and that bothers me.
How do you fight an enemy? Well, you don't kiss his ass.
Yeah, you don't.
How do you beat a bully?
You beat his ass.
You don't treat him with respect. You beat his ass.
You respect their beliefs. Yeah, doesn't work.
I respect his beliefs.
I will say it's weird that I didn't get to see his body, that we didn't bring him back or anything. It's like, no, we got him, and we dumped him in the ocean.
We didn't get any parade.
Yeah, I want a parade.
How about a victory parade if that's the guy? Well,
it was odd.
None of it makes sense. And then you see who's still in power after all of it. Who's in power?
Hillary Clinton.
Right. That's
Dick
correct.
Cheney.
She's still running the show.
We're going deep down the rabbit hole.
And who else? The Bush family. They're still, they're being dismantled, but they're still going at it, making tons of money because what does that war do?
Yeah.
It makes money for all the intelligence agencies and the contractors. We know how it works by now. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist. I've thought much of this, I've heard about this for decades now, and I thought it was bullshit. But it's becoming more and more exposed.
The more I think about
what do you think all the hoo-ha's about out there? It's an epic battle of the good versus evil going on. Which side is good and evil? We'll find out. I have my opinions, you have yours, but we'll find out. It's out of our control.
It is weird that we're sitting here having fun and we're talking about the good old days, but I've never seen in my lifetime, and I know you probably haven't either, we're as polarized as ever. I think this is worse than the 60s.
I think it's just.
I know we were.
I think it's unprecedented. We don't. We're trying to.
I don't think we've ever been here. Yeah,
we've never been in a position where the president of the United States is threatening to put in jail the past 4.
Yeah,
that's where we are. And who wins? I don't know. I have my hunches, but we'll see.
We the people are supposed to win.
We're supposed to, and I'd like us to, but whether we can or not still remains to be seen. So far, it's looking good.
So that'll be your last episode. We'll cover that. And for those that don't know, if you were listening to the regular guys, and people have commented, we even got comments when we did the show this year on Bailey and Southside.
I get them every 9/11.
Yeah, people. You're right. People call in, and it was weird because the way the room was, I was running the board and on a mic, and Larry and Eric were facing me, and I'm the one that saw it first. And I said, man, it's on fire. Then we turned, and then I remember on air, because you laughed at me and said, it's bigger than that or something. I thought, like a lot of people, it's got to be a small aircraft, a private aircraft, or a prop aircraft for like some airline. You just did not know a building could swallow a 767. I had no idea.
Right, I had
no idea.
I still, to this day, don't know
Crazy.
if it can.
A whole plane, just... What?
The main thought I was thinking is like, well, how does this happen? Like, I thought our military, our screening process was like these.
We're
two
the
guys,
fighter jets.
these two guys from the Middle East who just came over last month or something, they got around all this stuff. I couldn't do it.
Well, they took flight lessons in either Orlando or Miami or somewhere, and they didn't learn to land. They only learned to take off. I'm like,
see,
or fly
do you
it.
believe
Not
that
even
story?
take off, just fly it.
I
That's
heard
what
that story too. Right, but
they only knew how to fly it, not land
once you
it.
inspect the story, and at the time everybody's panicking, nobody's going to unpack the story. But on its face, it's so fucking stupid. Such a fucking obvious lie. Like, guys from the Middle East came over here in 1 month, 2 months, whatever. You could give me flight lessons for the next 10 years. I would not be able to fly a 747, much less fly it into the exact building at a predestination time. You can't do any of this. You can't do any of this without help from high levels of the world governments.
All right,
it just doesn't happen.
I got one more to throw at you.
It's like trying to start a cocaine ring tomorrow.
Brett's currently doing it.
Brett's doing it, but he's going to get caught because he doesn't have the cooperation
I told
of the
you.
That's all the
intelligence.
sniffles from last week.
No, but think about this, too. Here's one. Pentagon gets hit, right? I have never seen an eyewitness that saw a plane fly in low and hit the Pentagon. And then when you see the video, I still don't see a plane.
Right, exactly.
It could have been a missile.
Who knows what it was?
I don't know, but I did not.
But if they're lying about
see
this
a plane.
one, what else are they lying about? I mean, that's a pretty big thing.
Yeah. God knows you might have a point. Craziest thing I've ever heard you say, and you might have a point.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
By the way, that's true. That is true.
Dude.
It sounds funny, but it's true.
Have you ever been on a golf course? Every frog is gay in the pond on a golf course.
Well,
it's of all the chemicals.
But they're doing it. It's not just frogs. It's men. Men are turning into women.
Thank God.
Because
That's
they
the
put
chemtrails.
It's all the soy products that these fuckers eat.
So you
And they
buy
have-
Alex Jones products then, all his water filters and stuff
No,
like that?
because that's a scam.
Yeah, okay, so that's a scam.
That's a multi-level, boy.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I mean, when somebody says something that you think is outrageous, you got to do research on it. I don't know. How do you know it's true unless you look into it?
How do you know the research is true?
People are
because you're looking. The research that you're doing is not true research. You're looking at the research of other people's research.
No, you have to use your eyes and ears as well. You know, you can observe that there's been a change in male behavior over the past, generation. They're more effeminate. It's just the way it is. There's more effeminate men than ever before, and there's a reason for that. Is it dietary? Maybe. Is it
Social acceptability?
well, no. It's got to. The change has to come first before it's even judged by society. So, what is it? What's making men become more effeminate? I mean, it's observable that they've become so.
It's reality shows.
Steve has a ponytail. I mean, come on.
I was always told IPAs grow
He
tits,
listens to his
so-
wife too much.
I do, but you know
who
what?
has no experience in life. She's 30. I mean, God bless her, but she hasn't been through life like Southside Steve has.
Yeah, I do have some lessons. I know she's a better person than me. I'm trying to be better.
That
But
may be
she,
true
she
morally.
nags a little bit.
Morally, she's way better than you.
Yeah, morally.
But I'm talking about experience-wise. She
Yeah.
doesn't have the level of experience that you have. So, that's what I'm saying. Tell her you're getting a vasectomy, and that's that.
I'm cutting it. I do want to take up for long hair. This country was founded by men with long hair.
That's true. All
Just
right,
wanna
that's
bring
not
that
so
up.
effeminate.
So
It
you're going
depends
for
how
the
you-
founder's look?
Yeah.
A bit, yeah.
Dude, ponytails
Get a
rule the
ribbon
world.
on it, a little ribbon.
He does look like Hamilton a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
God, I'm telling you. Damn it.
You know those were wigs, right?
No. Paul Revere had his own hair.
The
I know
white
for a
hair
fact.
was the wigs.
powder
but
wigs.
The
Paul
powder wigs.
Revere, yeah.
And that was more the English than us.
Paul Revere went through the streets.
Washington.
Yeah,
Paul Revere went through the streets saying the British are coming, yeah, come on.
he did.
The British are, yeah, come on.
Yeah, and he had brown hair, and he had a blue ribbon, and he had his hair tied pretty. When he
don't
got
think he
home,
was
he
the only-
pulled out the ribbon and threw
South-
his hair back and went,
Yeah.
we're going to have a hell of a dime.
That's a real mixed signal. The British are coming. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, come on, get your guns.
Yeah.
Come on to arms. Grab your
Get
arms.
ye guns.
Yeah, come on, grab your arms.
Grab ye arms.
So-
yeah, come on.
So this site and everything.
Southside Revere.
Revere. Thank you. One lantern or two.
The British are coming over.
They're here. I see them. It's time to ride.
Yeah, come over.
Put you. Yes.
Southside Revere. That would be a good bit to do on the Southside and Bailey show.
I like when people say that.
Would Jason Bailey let you do that, or does he yell at you?
He would get upset.
Why would he get upset? It's funny.
I don't know. He doesn't want me to talk about you ever either.
Why?
I don't know.
Because he's afraid of me.
It's like an ex-girlfriend. Yeah, you can't bring him up.
What is he afraid of?
I've never been that guy. To me, anything and everything is open
He
season.
won't let you talk about me?
No, we don't.
What does he say?
Like, I just like, we're not.
I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about their success. I don't want to hear about their greatness.
I don't understand.
I'm tired. I'm trying to beat him.
I don't get it. I don't get any of it.
Psycho.
I'm like, we're just doing radio, man, and the past is the past. To me, if it happened in Atlanta radio on the airwaves,
why can't you talk about your life
on the same signal? Yeah, I could.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I did this podcast. Let's talk about the fun times, the interesting stuff. Let's celebrate this.
He's too busy.
Talk about it.
He's too busy talking about working and around the house. And,
you know what you should have
stuff
on your
about
show?
his kids.
You know what you should have on your show? You remember how we had the creepy alarm?
Yeah.
You should have the narcissistic alarm.
All right, talking about yourself too much.
me. What am I supposed to do?
I've heard about your kids, heard about it all. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about me. I've got a
me. Play that Toby Keith song. I want to talk about me. Remember that Toby Keith song?
Me, oh my.
Me, oh my.
Yeah.
Let's bring me up.
That could be the Bailey and Southside narcissistic alarm.
I just want to talk about me. Yeah. Well, speaking of bits and you guys, there we go.
We talk about your work, how your boss is a jerk. We talk about your church and your head when it hurts. We talk about the troubles you've been having.
I've never heard this song. This is amazing.
Your crazy ex-lover.
Narcissist alarm.
Oh my god, that's too good.
Yeah, buddy. Come out.
Yeah, we got to get the chorus.
Yeah.
Here it comes, pre-chorus.
Of course, a pre-chorus.
I actually like country music.
Yeah, Jason.
This is your theme song for your show now, Steve.
I want to talk about me. So why don't we talk about me?
That's right.
I like it. Damn it. Good idea.
That replaces the creepy alarm. It's perfect.
All right, there we go. Now it's the narcissistic alarm. I like that.
I'm David Markwell with Ridgeline Counseling. The current situation we're in is bringing all kinds of issues into our lives, everything from stress and anxiety to frustration, bouts of depression and loneliness. Well, we're here to help at Ridgeline Counseling. You can reach us at 770-993-9700, or you can email us at ridgelinecounseling@gmail.com. Currently, we're offering telemental services through video and phone platforms, and in a few weeks, we'll be transitioning back to in-person office visits. In the meantime, stay safe. We'll get through this. Yeah, come on.
No, I was going to say, speaking of kind of the bits, talking about radio being true on the radio.
Yes.
I pulled some sound from the Regular Guys review. It's the Regular Guys review podcast or just
the Regular Guys review?
Yeah.
I try not to use the word podcast in my podcast titles because I did the modcast. Well, it's like it makes it seem ordinary. It's like this is a show. It doesn't matter what platform.
So if people want to go see it, check it out. It's Regular Guys Review.
That's right.
Is anything filmed? Or is it just
video?
Yeah, is there any video?
I have video, but I haven't included.
Yeah, I didn't know because
production.
A lot of people don't know. There were times we had cameras in the studio, so I just didn't know what you had.
I downloaded some of those. I found them on the internet.
Wow.
Jason Bailey scrubbed every Southside Steve TV.
He hacked all the databases.
He did. It's unbelievable. I went to look for a Southside Steve video. And I said, "Where is this thing?" And it's like they scrubbed hundreds of hours, and those things got huge views. So I get
what.
He did.
Jason Bailey.
He scrapped Cumulus. Somebody scrapped.
Oh my God!
All the Regular Guys stuff, like pretend we didn't exist. It's so childish. It's unbelievable.
I didn't even know.
Who does that? What
I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't know how to do it, nor would I do it if I did.
I didn't say you did it.
I know.
I'm just informing you that somebody did it, and I'm guessing, based on what you told me about Jason Bailey, doesn't let you speak about me or think about me, apparently.
There we go.
It's like he's probably a likely culprit. I'm not. If I were in a court of law, I'd say there's some evidence.
There you go.
All right, here's the first one.
10. The Regular Guys show would average out to at least a 9 in edginess.
Yesterday we sent out Steve. I wrote a check. I copied one of my checks onto a dildo.
Deposit my account, and this is going to seem very odd to you, but this is what the person wrote the check on.
don't think so.
It's so odd. When I popped it out, both girls took 2 steps back because they just stared at it. They could not believe.
Well, they've never seen anything that gorgeous before.
Dude, that was
great work.
I never went in that bank ever again. It was my bank. It was the SunTrust off of
Oh, you went
Chamblee.
to your bank.
Yeah, no, I went to one of my banks, but it was convenient. That was my drive-through bank, but I'm like, I'm never going to pull in their lot again.
Never dildo where you eat.
No, you don't. You don't. My SunTrust, yours, like, mine was down on Peachtree Industrial, but it was either way because I lived on Chamblee Dunwoody. He said, this one was right on the highway. I said, I've never gone in. I always go through the drive-through, so I'll walk in. And Larry had written out on this white dildo, it was about an 8-incher, maybe it was 10.
It's pretty big.
It was pretty big. But he had written a check, and he even drew the square, and he had a routing number, had his check number, had the amount. And literally, I took it, and they had that space under the wall that's about 4 inches, and I had it in a brown bag, so I just rolled it under. Oh, my God. And what do you not want to see a bank teller do in a bank? Take 2 steps back and do her hands like this.
Right.
She was like, because she didn't want to touch it. She's like, whoa. I'm like, easy. It looks like I'm holding you up or something. And then she brought over the other woman, and they're looking at it, and they're disgusted. Disgusted.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but that was great. See, I was curious. I remember reading someplace that you don't have to have, paper check.
You can write a check
as long as you have the
on-
routing numbers technically. So I said, let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. It sounds funny.
Yeah, and you
somebody's
signed
going to
it.
react to it. And as long as you have a curiosity about these things, it's going to be more
We
interesting.
could have written it on cardboard, but we wrote it on a dildo.
Yeah, but that would have defeated the. You wanted to find something so outrageous yet legal.
That was outrageous.
How far does this idea go that you can't write it on a? You don't have to write paper.
She took a piece of paper and rolled it like this, and she nudged it back to me. She would
Rolled it back
Did she,
under?
she would never touch it.
She thought it was
Like-
freshly used.
She's
She gave
like-
you the stink finger, like
yeah, like this. I'm like, all right, here's my dildo. Then the bank manager has to come over me, and I'm like, well, I've got this dildo.
Yeah, you're lucky security didn't tackle you when they put their hands up. Like that. That's hilarious.
No, it was funny. They followed me out in the parking lot and got my tag number for what reason I do not know.
right. But you know what? That takes. You don't know it really at the time, but that's really. Groundbreaking stuff that nobody had ever heard in Atlanta radio before. This kind of on the street stuff.
Nobody had ever done it. We were doing street
Right.
bits, and it was all undercover stuff, and it's a hidden mic. You just back then we were pretty archaic about it, but I had a microphone taped to my chest.
But
That's
it's
all it
great
was.
work.
It's
The
like you're
balls to do
bugged,
it.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was no lavalier like anything up night. It was a mic taped to
Do you
my
remember the
chest.
amount on the check? How much was the check worth?
I don't.
It was like $40, $100.
No, not even. Some
Oh, okay.
I forget.
$2. Some.
Oh, that's even
That's
worse.
even grimier. Yeah.
Right, because if it was a lot of money, they would have taken it more seriously. So we
Yeah.
figured, we'll just put the lowest amount.
69 cents. Get it, Zing.
Yeah.
Zing!
I don't know if it was. It was a great idea.
Gronkowski.
Yeah, it may have. I don't know.
That was a great stunt. What else you got?
Oh, we got a second one. Here we go.
Neighbors.
Oh, hold on.
All right, this is where Southside Steve goes to various public restrooms, and he sits in there, and he chats with his neighbors.
Oh my God. Hey. How you doing, man? Cool. I can see your feet. You smell that?
Hold on. I can see your feet. So can you smell that? I've never heard those two sentences.
I've been going to acting school, and I'm thinking about playing E.T. in a play. Elliot.
You're kind of weird.
You sound young, man. How old are you, dude?
16.
Oh my!
Yeah, that was so much creepy wrapped up in one bit. Those are great, And
you just tried to. It was called "In My Stall," and it was a matter of sitting down. Where does someone not want you to talk to them, but in the toilet?
It's all these bits have one thing in common: curiosity. I've always been curious because otherwise you get bored. I get easily bored by stuff, and so I always want to push. I have a reputation for going a little too far, but it's called exploration. And if you don't ask the questions, and sometimes you put things into play.
Mm-hmm.
And at the worst case scenario, when we were doing all our antics, and me personally, I always thought to myself, no matter what happens, I'll have a great story to tell people down the line. And it's always important to have great stories about your life, because that's when you socially, works for you.
No, totally. I will tell you that's.
And I was right. I thank my younger self for doing all those stupid fucking things.
It was nuts. I mean, and for me, you were doing all the show prep and everything, and and my job was to be on the streets, both promoting the radio station, getting paid for that, but doing these stunts. We'd have 2 of them a week, and some you could do quick, and some of them took a long time, and there's a lot of effort put into these.
You put a ton of effort.
Yeah.
I mean, it did not go unnoticed.
Yeah, there was a lot of hours into this stuff, and a lot of awkward situations. They didn't all end nice. Some guys get upset.
That's what I talked about. Do you have the clip from the most recent episode?
I'm trying to think. I think
Regular Guys Review.
The next one was the homeless.
Yeah, and I talked about how Steve.
Yes. Yeah.
The obstacles in getting that put together.
Yeah, I have that. I wanted to ask though real quick.
Okay.
Because I think it's a debate that's been had many different times. Who has the best bathrooms? You want to stop at like a Quick Trip or a Chick-fil-A. What bathrooms did you send him to? Was it like graffiti on the wall like MS-13?
We didn't send him. He just picked. He picked, yeah.
I just tried to find a place where there were at least 2 stalls. And I found out the easiest way to do it was just to camp out. But that didn't work for me because I liked walking in with the rush. That was the easiest part for me. If I waited till somebody went in the bathroom and see them sit down, and then if I come in making a lot of noise, like, oh my God, I got to go, that allowed me to make noises already, get in the stall, sit down, throw my pants down quick, like a guy that's got an upset stomach, and then immediately I'm making noises, which gets the audience going, and then it allows me to start talking to the person.
These methods are just unbelievable.
To it, yeah.
Method actor here, did you actually take a dump?
Once or twice I did.
Really?
Not always, but once or twice.
I mean, if you got to go,
I'm
you got to
sitting
go.
there.
Right.
No, and the best thing to do when you're sitting there, because I never, ever, ever left first. They always left. You can always creep them out. Not one time did a guy just stay in there. They got their business done and left because I was talking to them. Now, the thing was that the conversation go 30 seconds or 3 minutes. But it's weird if a dude keeps talking to you. One time I actually towed his shoe and went, hey, man, look at your shoes.
You know what
man,
that's code for? Didn't that happen to a Republican senator?
I didn't know that was code for gay. I did not know.
You didn't know. Well, that's how you learn. Yeah. When you're doing everything for the first time.
Yeah. And then when I started off,
What's this hole in the stall?
Yeah,
well, I didn't know what a glory hole was the first time I put my dick into it. So you live and learn. I found out it feels good and it feels terrible.
But if you wait for like 30 seconds and you're sitting there and you go, and you knock on the stall, the guy's he's not going to answer. He's just sitting there, and you wait about 6 seconds and go, so, what are you doing? That's creepy as crap.
Yeah, it takes balls to do that.
Yeah, if you're in the other stall, you are legitimately, whether you're 6'4" or whether you're 5'9", you're freaky. You're freaked out.
Yeah.
It's freaky. I mean, I would hate it if somebody did that crap to me.
But it's interesting because that you tell me these methods because they're all your own methods. There's no rule book for it. It's not like I handed you the In My Stall rule book and I said, do this.
Yeah. No, you got to figure it out.
We pretty much, Brett, came up with the concept. Here's what we want. And Steve, go, do the logistics.
You came up with the diarrhea where I had mixed stuff in a 2-liter bottle to look like diarrhea. So you got somebody in the stall.
Okay.
So Larry goes, we're going to mix it. He goes, you mix it up to where it looks at, put it in a 2-liter bottle.
What's wrong with me?
Yeah. So we didn't really talk about
all that brain power goes towards that.
Right.
But think about it.
All that college.
So you're a dude and you're in your stall, and then I come running in with the belt unbuckling. Oh my God. Oh God. I'm like, I go so bad. And then I get down and I just barely pull my pants down and I take the 2-liter and I'm like, Gah! And I squirt it. Now, granted, I'm making a mess, but it is not diarrhea.
I couldn't find that one. I looked all over for that.
And I squirt it on the side of the toilet and on the floor, and you hear this, hey, man! Hey, Will, loose.
Maybe I'll have more than one more episode. Like, we'll get into the technical details of Southside Steve. It'd be fascinating.
Remember you had me at the urinal. I don't know if you remember this. I had a squirt gun, and you're sitting there going, you're like, whoa. And I'm literally squirting. So there's that little like 2 inches there. And if you just squirt through, it hits the wall and splatters onto them. They're like, hey! But you're just, you're acting like you're out of control peeing, but you're not.
Have you ever seen
You put so much effort into this. I didn't even do it justice. Now that I play the clip, it's like I didn't even come close to doing it justice.
Have you ever seen the prank videos now where people will sit in a stall and they'll wait till somebody gets in the stall next to them and be like, hey, man, there's no toilet paper over here. Can you help me out? When the person goes to pass toilet paper, they take a scoop of Nutella and they grab their hand and
I haven't
wipe
seen
it,
those.
and people think they just wipe crap all
so
over their
that's
hand.
like
We did it. We did it.
Did we do that one time?
Yeah.
No.
We didn't go that far. I think
you inspired those people.
I think it's just that was too gross. Yeah. But
that was a very Vine popular.
I don't even know if we could do that. We just kept it to where the awkwardness of somebody talking to you.
Yeah, just the creepiness, the tension.
And some I would take totally gay, where I'm like, so what are you doing after this?
Like that one with a 16-year-old.
Yeah,
right.
Luckily, you didn't drop a pickup line on it.
You're not going to do that. You're not going to get creepy out of a 34-year-old. No. 16-year-old. That's really.
But that was one of my favorite bits. That was fun to do.
You want to play the next one?
Sure.
Okay.
Homeless karaoke was some of Southside Steve's best work. And this wasn't an easy bit to pull off because you had to be around these crazy homeless people in the middle of the night in the city of Atlanta, where really the law doesn't give a shit. And it's like being on The Walking Dead. And then you got to negotiate with the homeless to get them to cooperate and record the songs. And Southside Steve managed to do all this and get some memorable performances out of the homeless people. When you think about it, the Homeless Tabernacle Choir that Steve put together for Christmas, I think that was a bigger achievement than We Are the World.
They told me rum, a newborn king to see, our finest gift we bring,
It sounds like when someone starts row your boat later than.
That's tough to pull off. And
you give them scripts. You find 8 homeless
I shouldn't
people.
have cut that part. Because after that, you go, they wipe their ass with their scripts. Yeah, that's literally what you followed that right out with.
Yeah. Well,
damn it.
If you think about it, and I did it with cash. Everybody has their thing, so I would carry.
What were your methods to this?
Well, in this one, I would go and get about $20.
Take us through a typical recording session of homeless karaoke.
First off, I kept my recording equipment in a bag that I had to wash my hands after touching. I had a CD player that I would put in whatever CD for music I wanted them to hear.
Right.
Then I had a headset for them to put on, which there's no way I would ever put on that headset. So I would let
you had a special headset for them.
Just for them, and it was in a bag. And then I would keep cash in the bag just so I had it no matter what. I always had at least 21s, and I would bring a $5 bill because what you do when you get out there, if you're only finding a couple, you give one guy $5. You promise him. You don't give it to him first as a wrangler. I'm like, go find me 10 guys.
Get your buddies.
Yeah, get your buddies. Get who you know. And then
he's the casting agent.
Right. So he runs around and plucks people either out of the bushes, around corners, but he brings them to me, and I literally line them up.
Well, he knows where the people are. He knows where the bodies are buried.
Right. So then that guy would get 5, and of course I learned you never pay him in front of the others because if they see a 5, they want a big bill too.
Right.
So he had to promise I gave $2 a song, which was nice, sometimes just $1. But then I got known that if I even walked through Woodruff Park, I hear this, Southside, you want me to do that singing thing?
Oh, so you developed a
following.
Kind
We did it for about
core group.
Yeah, we did it for about 6 years, and I probably did it twice a month, if not 3 times.
So a lot of times we heard you had a repertory company of homeless singers.
Yeah, I had some I could go.
Phil Spector over here.
Yeah, tell me what government agency has done more for the homeless than Southside Steve.
And people would get upset thinking we were poking fun, but I'm like, first off, I brought clothes out with me too. If I had old shirts, you know how we'd get shirts at the radio station,
right.
So I'd bring clothes too. So I would give out whatever clothes I had.
I remember
and money.
You gave them a couple of Larry's an asshole T-shirts that Eric made.
Those are real shirts?
Those are real shirts.
That's awesome.
That story is just such an exercise in treachery. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So what happened was I came up with the idea, we had this big billboard with big tits. And it said 96 Rock, the regular guys, a couple of boobs in the morning, whatever. So big tits, a lot of controversy, the billboard, all the Christian groups were all up in arms. And I said, well, let's make shirts and sell them. You and me, Eric, will sell them 50-50. And for some reason, I think Steve told him, like, don't trust the Jew or something. Eric said, well, he was so anti-Semitic. He said, you're going to fuck me out of money. I said, I'm asking you to go, we will all benefit from this. He said, no. And then to make matters worse, not only did he not want to do the shirts, he made it. The next week I come in and he says, I made boxes of Larry's an asshole T-shirts. I was like, what the fuck did I do to deserve this treatment? I offered him a business opportunity, and because he thought somebody told him that I'm a Jew and I'm going to fuck him, probably his father, who was a grifter, then I mean, the apple doesn't fall from the tree. The thing about Eric is that he tells everybody his father's a grifter, and then we're supposed to believe that he's not. Okay, so he says, I'm making Larry's and asshole T-shirts. And I thought, Jesus Christ.
did.
How would you feel if I did that? I mean, it's not.
that's
but
harsh.
you gave some of those to the homeless.
I did. I went into homeless, and I literally gave like 15
So they
homeless
still
guys.
could be on the streets.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me
Right.
if they are, or they're at Goodwill.
Yeah, I want to find one at Goodwill. That'd be amazing.
I'm going to go to Goodwill today. I want to find one and wear it.
Yeah, one will pop up. But, after they did the
It's their
music.
prized possession. That's a hand-me-down.
Wouldn't that be a great series
Oh,
of
yeah.
videos? Wouldn't that be a great video? Like you go down the street wearing, I go down the street wearing a Larry is an asshole T-shirt, and then people ask me who Larry is, and me.
I'm an ass. I am. I'm an asshole.
How you don't sell those on your website?
Well, I
You
don't.
should. If you cut me in, I give you full permission.
Okay.
Larry.
Might think about it. Why not?
It's not like he owns the name Larry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but look, he's like, you got to cut me in.
Well, you can say Larry is an asshole, and then people ask you, who's Larry? Me.
Yeah, that could do that. We might as well play off of that.
funny.
But I'll tell you, with those homeless people, you take their song, what they sang, and then I'd have to get the song and lay it up under it and match it up, and then we would play that, and they would have to guess, Larry or Eric, what they were singing, and then when finally somebody guessed it, then I would play the song up under, and then you would see that all that made sense. It made sense.
Yeah, it did.
It did. But
you did just an unbelievable work on that, and I thought it was. I apologize because the clips I actually played from Homeless Karaoke were from when Seabass did them.
Oh.
But, fuck him.
No, I will tell you right now, he did a lot of that stuff.
That's all I could find.
Yeah, I thought mine were better. But when I did the Christmas thing, you hand out all those sheets, and then I started them like, you guys sing. And then you bring in the other guys. And then the other guys, hilarious, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll do
I wish we would make
anything.
videos of those.
Remember I did
You did a couple, I think.
I did a couple of those at Christmas. And then
Didn't you get rolled on one of those one time?
I got attacked by a guy with an umbrella. That was the guy I was talking to at Kroger, and he literally cornered me and wanted all my money and was jabbing the umbrella
Was this
at
an
me.
umbrella Kroger?
Yeah, but it was one of those.
The penguin.
hey,
people are getting attacked by umbrellas at Umbrella Kroger, just like people are getting murdered at Murder Kroger. It's unbelievable.
But he had
People are dancing at Disco Kroger.
This is like the third umbrella attack we've had here at Umbrella Kroger. I don't know. Maybe we should stop calling it Umbrella Kroger. Maybe they'll stop. I don't know.
It was the Kroger right across from the Capitol. If you remember, that was a small one, and I would go to it because I lived downtown. Dude Kroger. But this guy had the old
frequently robbed Kroger.
Yeah, and he had some like homeless umbrella he'd picked up from the 70s, and it had that long. Remember the long metal ends?
Tip, yeah.
That like this from the 70s umbrella? Sure. That's what it was. And at one point when he came in hard, when he came in at me, I moved to the left and it hit the brick wall, and I saw like sparks. I'm like, dude's trying to kill me, man.
That's like Tom Cruise level stuff.
So then I just literally just pushed him, and I don't know.
It was like you were in the homeless
and
Matrix.
I had to run from this guy. But the worst thing I did is I had a group of about 10 people around me, and I pulled out cash. Next thing I know, I had 40 people because I made the mistake. These are lessons you learn. You don't do homeless karaoke near a feeding line. And a lot of these churches show up in parking lots, and they're being nice, and they give out these
See, I would think
styrofoam.
the opposite.
No, because then they all see what I'm doing, so they gravitated to me. Next thing I know, I had 40 people reaching in with one. So I backed myself into this store. They came in the store, and the Indian guy behind the corner comes out with a baseball bat, and he's like, "You get down to my store now, I kill you." And I'm like, hold on, dude. They chased me in here. He goes, "No, you leave now and knock head off." I'm like, what?
Everybody's out to get you.
Yeah, and he's got the bat, and he's like about to hit me. I'm like, look, and I'm like, look, son of a bitch.
Dude, that's
threw that
awesome.
bat. And
don't you think we can make a movie out of the regular guy? Like, get Kevin Green, get him to listen to the regular guy's review. Mm-hmm. You can make a screenplay out of this. I mean, I didn't go too deep. I mean, these are the stories that could, illustrate the different scenes, like what you went through. But that's unbelievable.
Well, you know how I got away? I came out, and when you think I'm over-exaggerating, when I say 40 people, it was probably 50, 60. So they're all in the stores, and I get why he's freaking out, because they can easily shoplift him. And it's one of those crappy-ass stores that they put the doors and the chains on at night,
Right.
And there's 3 of the Indian dudes behind this, like, thick glass that you could shoot a bazooka at him and you wouldn't kill him. It was, like, more than bulletproof.
Right.
And so I'm like, he's going to hit me with the bat. I couldn't reason with him. So I'm like, I'm pushing out.
So he's he's pushing you out of the store.
He's only mad at me. He's not even mad at the homeless people. He's like, you get out because they followed you in here. So I go out through the door and I took my money.
He had the magnet theory.
He had about $20 and I just threw it in the air and I hauled ass like a scared kid to my vehicle and got the hell out of it.
Wow.
Larry, you're right. This is like The Walking Dead. He just had
that would be an
hordes of
unbelievable
zombies.
movie.
Boy, I threw it and ran.
Like a binge series on Netflix, The Regular Guys.
That might be better than Stern's movie.
It's way better because Stern's movie was like bullshit.
Oh, it was? I don't know.
Listen, here's my theory about radio, and you'll concur. Radio is the most blue collar of all the media.
Totally.
It's the one most close to the middle class because the salaries that we make are good, but even the best of us have middle class salaries, live middle class lives in middle class areas, so we're closest to the people who listen to us. You don't get that in television. And Stern was kind of like became a white collar. He's now an elite. He doesn't. Yeah. He has no touch with the common person anymore. He's gone with the Jimmy Kimmels and the Bradley Coopers of the world, and God bless him. But that's the truth. That's the truth, right? Mm-hmm. He's always having gay sex with those two. I know it, right? Everybody knows it because they kiss each other whenever they're together, and they go on vacations together on the beach.
And their wives don't come. It's weird.
And their wives don't come at all. Right?
Ever, actually.
Ever. If they have wives. I don't even know if those wives are real. Who knows?
I don't think either one of
up.
Tom Cruise's wives are
right.
real.
All these mega celebrities are so fucked up. Anyway, but that's the truth of radio. And nobody tells the stories of the middle class anymore in our media. It's all about what the elites are doing, the kings and the queens. So I think once things start to break up, and I think they will because it has to, people are going to stop watching 3 channels real soon. And, there's a lot of citizen journalism going on. There's a lot of citizen podcasts going on and telling good stories like this. So I think,
Well, there's a lot of people. I mean, just like you, I meet people that are in their 30s and 40s. Like, man, I lived off you in high school and college. We were like the thing that these kids were listening to. We were like the thing they weren't supposed to listen to, but they did because our show. I mean, we had topless interns for what, 2 years?
Yeah, we had all
Brett
kinds
Barney, damn glad to meet you.
Great innovations. Were you a topless intern? I don't recall.
No, I'm saying like one of the 30, 40-year-old, not supposed to listen.
Right.
He was a high school kid.
I'm right there in the heart of that.
It was okay. Well, this is good. I want to know, like, it was really a forbidden thing?
I don't think it was forbidden, but it was. You're
not supposed to.
Yeah, you got together with your friends. It was like, oh, did you hear what they were doing, or things? Because it was.
I couldn't believe what we were doing.
It was between you guys and Morning X.
I couldn't believe it. I told my mother, I'm like, do not listen anymore to my show. Ever.
Well, your father hated me in the show.
He just saw. I mean, I think he heard wiffle ball bat. What we do, the wiffle ball bat challenge.
Well, I hate myself too for doing that, but it's not surprising that your father would. He wasn't really. He had no stake in it.
You did what?
I at least had some skin in that game, right?
I'm like, oh, dude. He goes, so what was your job? I'm in there with Larry, and I'm like, got a light on my head like we're doctors. I mean, that's as much as I'll say, but it was crazy. But
I want to ask young Brett Barney, like when you were experiencing it through the other side of the speakers. This is interesting to me. I just don't know. It
was kind of like one of those things where if you missed the show and then you'd show up at lunch, you didn't really know what anybody was talking about.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Doesn't that make you feel good?
Oh yeah.
That's like really. That's what I wanted to do all my life, and wow, that's
you
awesome.
would do certain, but I was always out doing.
We used to do that with George Carlin in 7th grade. We would meet before school and go over the latest
about him
routine, Cheech and Chong. Hey man, everybody's doing.
And then SNL played a role too.
Of course,
like
yeah.
Monday morning.
Same thing, yeah. Same
Monday
thing. Well, that's really that's fantastic.
We're in the zeitgeist, as they say.
Right, yeah. And that's why I wanted to do this podcast to capture, give those people something to something to enjoy.
So the one episode covered me, and these are just the ones covering me.
No. These aren't even from the episode that covered you.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay, because we talked about
the more recent.
We
episodes.
cashed in a dildo. We did homeless karaoke, and we did in my stall. What else do you have?
Can I ask about
this? Was from the Gross and Disturbing Part 1 episode. The grossest and most disturbing bits that we did.
And I also wanted to ask about homeless karaoke because I've always heard this. And I don't remember if this was true or not. Mm-hmm. Did you go and do homeless karaoke one time and pay the people in raw meat?
No, I tried to get them to eat raw meat. We did a bit. We did a bit. Raw meat.
We did a bit. Will the homeless eat bear or something like that? We saw some story about
Yeah.
people eating bears or something. And we thought, maybe you think the homeless would eat a bear? I don't know. Let's find out.
So
we,
I
we
think-
told, we got some beef, cut it up, and said it was bear.
Yeah. And then we said it was different things too. I think bear,
Yeah.
raccoon, just different like possum, that kind of crap.
Rats.
See if they would eat it. And then I offered them money if they'd eat it. Nobody ate it. I think one.
And I
guy
think
did.
somebody.
Well,
did.
no, one dude did eat it. Yeah,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, maybe it was one or two that ate it. Yeah.
If nobody ate it, we wouldn't have run the bid.
Yeah, no, somebody
It's like
ate it.
Everybody
but
say
you just
no.
never know, man. Everybody will say no, somebody will say yeah. I mean, these are crackheads, man. God bless them, some of them. And then I get to know them.
If Mikey will eat anything, I'm certain a crackhead would too.
There was it was a white homeless guy that had a beard, and I remember I knew him for years, and then he died during the winter. He literally froze to death in the park. Horrible. And then there was a woman that I knew was sick, and every time I saw her, she was missing more limbs. Like I'd
What?
see her like one year, and then I'd see her the next year. Then she got put in a wheelchair. She had diabetes.
Leprosy?
No, diabetes.
How many limbs did she start with?
She lost both legs and a little bit of an
All of
arm. Like she was here, no hand. And I was like, good God. But she had her legs. When I met her, legs, arms, the whole bit. And this is over a course of like 6-7 years. And I saw her probably about 5-6 years ago, and I recognized her face, and she was talking. She was right there at the restaurant. Right.
Did her face fall off ever?
No. But she's in a wheelchair with no legs. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Wait, if she started with no arms, how does she push the wheelchair?
Huh? She has one arm.
Oh, okay.
That's still tough. You're
That
gonna
means
go
she
in
goes in a circle. Yeah.
I'm not
gotta
saying
have a
she's getting
helper.
around
I'm
well.
not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
Hey, how'd she get out of her house?
I don't
That's
know.
a miracle.
Well, she's homeless. I don't think. Okay.
Maybe she was faking.
So the last clip that I pulled, I believe this was one of the most controversial moments on the Regular Guys in the history of the Regular Guys. And I wanted
Trying to
clear
pick
this
me
up.
apart. See, Steve? He's trying.
He's
Liberal
picking apart
media.
the
Liberal
he's-
media.
He's framing it as controversial.
Let's hear it.
Why didn't Southside Steve get fired and we did, even though we did nothing wrong? Well, it's very simple. Southside Steve wasn't considered a big enough sacrifice to satisfy the FCC censors. Firing Steve would be like giving up mudslide for Lent.
Come on. It's a good analogy. It's true. That's
And
the
actually,
way,
I laughed when I first heard it. That's funny.
I mean, that's the way it
I
works.
wasn't in the room. I wasn't in the room.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it was a political thing, right? The FC Hogan. Oh, that's my timer.
God.
Oh, I got to go. That's it. I'm
Done.
We're done.
I got to be on the set of American Soul as Cool and the Gang band members.
I do
Oh,
remember.
shit, I forgot about your extra work.
No, I'm kidding. I just said that in case it got out of hand. So I
Okay.
could have an excuse. But I'm having fun, so I'll
So you're
stay.
okay, you'll stay.
That's hilarious.
I
Cards
said-
on the table.
I said 60 minutes because I figured from my experience last time, that's when y'all start getting shit-faced. But this
How we
time
gonna-
you've been pretty casual.
I haven't been feeling well, so I'm drinking less.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're lucky.
But it's more fun, I think. For me, I mean, it's just like when you guys are shit-faced, like, what am I doing here?
You're hanging out with two. You're hanging out with two.
Hanging out with
drunks.
two drunks. I could go
we,
home
we
and do
get
that.
drunk sometimes.
Right.
We do. I apologize.
Right.
Thanks to Woodford Reserve.
On that note.
And yes,
That's
I do.
Jack Daniels.
Yeah, I know. And people think I don't know. Oh, this is Jack. Sorry, I didn't even know.
People think you don't know that because you don't know that.
There goes
Single
our,
barrel.
There goes our sponsorship.
I
No, I'm
know.
kidding.
Look, it's the same company. It's the same company.
You fucked up your putative sponsor.
I thought I had
You don't
Woodford in
have.
my hand. I didn't know. Well, Brett Ford.
What was I saying? What were you saying?
We were discussing Southside Steve being like
Oh,
giving up mudslides.
Here's
for
how it
Lent.
happened. All right. So John Hogan, our CEO, president of the Clear Channel at the time, he goes to Capitol Hill to respond to all the smut in radio charges that are cropping up because for some reason Janet Jackson taking over top. It was radio hosts were under the cross in the hairs.
They came after us.
Crosshair. Right. So now, and we're sitting there like, what the fuck did we do? We didn't take off Janet Jackson's top and show her tit. Justin Timberlake did it, and his career is getting better. And so, Congress, I guess, trying to get rid of smut in radio. And Hogan says, we promise we're going to put in all these measures to make sure this never happens again. And it's like, it didn't happen on radio. It's something that happened on television. And I just think they just wanted to get rid of Stern, And we were in the crosshairs, and we would have been fine if we didn't challenge them, but we felt like they're challenging us, so we'll fight back, and so we didn't take it lying down, and so we came up with the backward porn, and after we were caught, it was just fresh on the heels of Hogan promising Congress, this will never happen again. So we embarrassed them in front of Congress, which is not a good thing to do. So FCC, to make it all right, they wanted, money and, it's extortion. And you got to get rid of Stern. If you want to keep your license, you got to get rid of the regular guys. Southside Steve, he can stay because he's perceived as not a threat to our corporate interests. So
no, I wasn't a threat.
No, you weren't.
I was a bridge builder.
Even though you fucked up, and that's why the porn got on the air.
No, it wasn't me.
Who was it?
Tim Frazier.
Oh, Tim Frazier, right. Okay.
I will write the story because your memory seems to be off on this.
Well, I just don't know. I was just like, I didn't even know what was going on.
No, here's what happened.
Tim Frazier. Okay.
I felt
like...
I
blame you. So.
Yeah, no, you can't blame me because I had nothing to do with it.
All right, well, I'll redo the podcast.
So, God, you said me on the podcast?
I think. I'm pretty sure.
I just played the soundbar.
So what? Who cares? You never were in trouble. What do you care now?
I know, but I don't want to be in trouble.
You got away with one.
Oh, my God.
You pulled off the scam of the year. Good for you.
So here's the deal. Larry and I have people know we were at odds for many years. And I just didn't want to be on the show anymore, so I went to our general manager and I'm like, "Look, I need you to get me off this show, or I'm going to do something else," because it was tough. Right. It was. Right. I'm just going to be honest.
It was rough.
It was rough. So I didn't want to be a part of it. It wasn't kind of what I was into. I wasn't that kind of confrontational. I wasn't built that way. And so I said, all right. He goes, we'll phase you out slowly. So then Tim Frazier, our producer, who was like 18 at the time, he comes in. So I would do half the show, and then I would go and do the midday show with Tim Rhodes, because they knew that they were going to make Tim Rhodes and I a show. So he goes, just do half the show. We'll do this for about 3 months, and then we'll phase you out. I don't want you just going off the air. And I said, fair enough. So Larry would use me when he needed to, and when I would leave the studio, Tim Frazier would come in, and he would run the board.
Oh, right.
So for this particular bit, we were talking about it the day before, and Larry was talking about what he was going to do with backwards audio with a porn star. And I said to you, and I don't know if you remember this, I'm in the room, and
what happened at the? I remember.
Well, yeah, I remember, but I just said to you, I wouldn't do it because who cares? The only freaks are going to download this. Let's just do a nursery rhyme. And Larry said, "Quit being a pussy. We're gonna do porn."
Right, but what happened? Like, what was the actual?
Okay.
So Tim Frazier fucked up.
So what happened was I'm in the other room with Tim Rhodes, and we're just sitting there and we're listening because you had put all this. I mean, it was probably the biggest bit we had ever built up. You're like, tape us. Let the FCC tape us. Everybody tape us. There's nothing you're going to be able to do. Right. We're going to do something that's never been done in radio. So here's what's happening. Kids at home are taping us. Parents are taping us.
Right.
Every radio station we were in.
I don't think anybody actually taped.
No, you know who did? Our competition.
Right.
So you got 99X taping us. You got damn Z93. Whoever. For all I know, the Fish was taping the shit.
Right. Oh, my God.
So, because Larry dared them all to.
Right.
So we're sitting there. So Tim Rhodes and I are in the room, and we're listening, and we both hear something audio. You know how, and these mistakes happen, like two commercials run over each other. We had a commercial airing, and we heard audio. And I'm like, Tim goes, man, it sounds like I can hear something. You might want to go tell him. We never thought it was these guys. I come walking in, and when I walked in, Larry and Eric are having the nastiest conversation.
Oh yeah, I put it on that episode
because you were taping it.
Episode 7.
Yes, so we're off air.
So I have the actual dialogue.
Oh, it was horrible. I even heard. Like, did I just hear that? Right?
I want you to come in my ass. And it was right over a Honda commercial, which is even better.
Yeah, so it's Honda
another level of complexity to try to get out of it. The reason I laugh.
And my roommate's girlfriend had that account. She's like, I just lost a Honda account. I'm like, I guess you did.
And the real funny thing for me was that we were back on the air within a year.
I know, that was crazy. So, but hear this out from my point of view. So I walk in the room.
It's all for nothing.
And I tell Tim Frazier, he's sitting there recording, and Larry's saying something like, "Yeah, why don't you put the cock in my fuckhole?" And I'm like, "What?" So I was like, I've never heard anybody say, "Put your cock in my fuckhole." I'm like, who says that? My bedroom talk has never gone to that level.
Really? You never said that to
No, girl. Look, put my cock
How do you not, in this day and age, you don't watch a lot of porn, that's why.
No.
Because you live like a porn.
I lived
But
porn
no girl you were ever with, all those young
there's probably a few.
Sluts.
It was just a weird combination.
They never said, put your cock in my fuckhole?
No.
They call it a fuckhole.
What do they call, okay. taking in all 419 into account.
Put your penis
Let's say
in a
we're
special
playing
spot.
Pussy Family Feud. What do they call their vaginas? Most of the girls you've been.
The first one called it her. What did she call it? Oh, I used to know.
Not the first one, but in general, like
on average,
33%
yeah, on
say
average.
the number one answer is what?
The P word. Most of them.
Did they say P word or pussy?
Yeah, I said pussy.
Stick it in my P word.
I just, stick it in my P word.
Can
I
we
just
be
said
adults
pussy.
here?
I don't do the see you in Tahiti. So, but they
Wait a
said
minute,
that
but
one.
what do I don't care what you say. I'm interested in what the women you're with during sex called their vagina.
Fuck my P.
Pussy.
On average, pussy.
That was the number one answer.
Some did say the C word.
Some did.
What's the number?
I like that.
Is that?
And then some. There was a few. There's a few.
What's the number
I'm giving
two
away
answer?
too much.
Slit.
Slit.
Ooh, that one's a little.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
The gash.
Yeah, come on. That's
Nobody ever said that.
Please don't. Yeah.
Fuck my gash. I would never be with a woman who
Fuck my axe
called
wound.
it a gash. Right. That's what a guy says.
I need to put on
Any
sunglasses.
woman, listen, young Brett Barney, when you encounter gash, vagina in your future, if that woman calls her own vagina a gash,
We're at another
get
level.
out. That's it.
It's the dirtiest
Check,
this
please.
show's ever been.
No.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
Larry,
we're
you
talking
are.
the way we do so. So I'm sitting there and I walk in and this kid's kind of a know-it-all because he's a smart kid. So Larry and them are talking. Larry looks up at me like, "What are you doing?" But they continue what they're doing, talking to her. So he does one of these numbers. Doesn't even look me in the eye. He's like, and I'm like, "You got two things playing on the air right now," and he's like, and he backs away, looks at the board. He's like.
The phones are starting to light up.
Yeah. And he totally nods. He nods me off. So then Larry's over there, or Larry and Eric, and then Larry just gives me one of these. Like, get out of the room.
Right,
you
right.
told me to get out.
Shooed you.
So I leave the room, and then I lean in on Tim Rhodes' studio door, 2 doors down, who's taping middays. And I'm like, dude, I told him. I said, Fraser says we're crazy. So I'm still not registering that it's them. I go down in the bathroom, and I'm just sitting there taking a piss, and I hear hell breaking loose. And I hear, oh my God, and I hear footsteps, like, when somebody's running, coming down all the hallways. And it is like 8 people running for you. And then I come out and I'm like, screw washing my hands, and I'm zipping up and I walk out. The second I come out, I see this headset hit the wall and leave a dent in the wall and break. And it was Eric had thrown his headset. And he goes, that's stupid. And he was just dog cussing our board op.
Yeah. Oh, right. Tim Frazier. Okay, so he was the guy. Oh.
And we had a comedian we were supposed to talk to.
I never blamed him. I never knew.
Yeah, that's what happened. So it was just. Well, I don't think it was his fault. It's just when I said I heard 2 things, we just should have shut it down, and he did.
Well, it was just a comedy of miscommunication.
Yeah, it was just because
But listen, the
but
bottom
that was
line
the
is
craziest story ever in radio.
Bottom line is we got away with one, a big one.
Yeah, awesome. You guys come back and you're on WGST AM.
Oh, you talked about that.
And then they came back and
did you listen? Did you listen to all the episodes or just
No. I've heard it. Somebody was playing it for me at work, so I listened about 15 minutes. I need to go back and hear it. If you've done all of this, I need.
Who was playing it for you?
One of the engineers that used to work with me, Eric. He's married to a girl named Laura that used to work for us. And she's now back as our promotions manager. And he knows the stories of 96 Rock.
Excellent.
So he was listening to it, and I just kind of, he was sitting there helping me.
Did you play it for Jason Bailey?
No, I have not.
Why not?
I don't think
Tell him like this is what greatness sounds like. If you want to aspire to greatness, like
I can't jump down that hole. I'll let y'all battle it out.
I'm kidding. Listen, you
let
guys
the 2
are doing great.
type A's fight. Yeah.
I'm kidding. You guys are doing great.
Shades on.
Brett's going pee, but you guys just keep rolling.
I got to pee too. Can I pee after?
You go after him.
You can talk about it.
So
it's getting hot in here.
Yeah,
it is, man.
It is a little hot in the room. So everything's gone well with it. So you're going to do this final episode on 9/11, and then you'll be done with it.
Probably, unless I mean, the stuff that you've been giving me here today, I could use that, and because I really wanted to get. I got Tim's episode. I think I offered like, hey, I'm going to do an episode on you. Do you want?
You did. It was bad timing when I came in. I would totally do an episode with you. I got no problem because you've been loyal enough, and good enough to come and do this one.
I like my voice. I think it's great, and I think I'm a great writer and great talent. But I want to hear from everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I found an interview Eric did with Art Howard, he's never going to do it, allow me to interview him. So I just use that. It's like, that's all I need. It's like spewing all kinds of, your point of view. So
are you talk? Have you
and
talked?
then I did with Tim. Tim, I did a whole episode on him and his talents. And I interviewed him, his perspective on it. But this right here was fantastic. I mean, I might have to re-edit those episodes because you gave it your point of view gives it the dimension that makes it even better.
I just remember, because I was living in the outside, and and nothing against Tim Frazier because I love him to death, but he was too, when you're too confident.
I know. I don't want to talk
about it. No, and I hated it because I look back on it and I'm like, I could have saved.
Yeah, but you know what? This is
I could have saved people's jobs.
But this is one of the events that it's unique and it makes us what we are. It's the whole story. It's not. The show is just part of the whole story.
Yeah.
What we did in between, the ups and downs, it's just. That's what a good story does.
Well, it was a fast-paced show. It was very quick-witted, too, and it was very intelligent at times. And
it was always intelligent, but it masqueraded as stupid and goofy to appeal to the middle-class people who loved us going to work. That's what they liked. You can't virtue signal your way to big ratings. You can't just say, hey, I'm smart, and you're going to listen to what I have to say, because that doesn't – it didn't work then, but – now it really doesn't work because you got people saying that on Twitter 24/7. So people don't want to hear. They want to hear stories like you just told. They don't want to hear divisive arguments anymore. There was a time for that. We came to power doing that technique, but it just doesn't work.
I think now people are so. I was driving home this morning because I just wasn't feeling well, so I kind of olayed the show. I was driving home about 6:30, and I'm driving up 400, and I'm seeing the traffic coming in, and I'm like, how God bless these people. How do they do this every single day? And that's why you can't really do any angry radio because people are already frustrated and angry.
Yeah.
That last thing they want to hear is infighting or fighting on.
Well, they don't want to hear division, even if it's funny.
They can handle a shot or two. Shots are funny.
But you got to give your observations first and tell people, demonstrate why you think this way.
Yeah.
Too often it's like, beating off. You want to get the orgasm right away, and you give your opinions first. And you say, you've ruined all the fun. Take us on the journey of how you reach that conclusion. You never start a story with your opinion.
I don't know how you just did that, but you did.
What?
You're you just put orgasm.
Weaved in something dirty to make a really deep point.
Yeah, we just made a deep point, weaving in the most primitive thing a man does.
Right, it is primitive. That's my point. It's like you're missing the point. When you're giving your opinion, you're talking about yourself first before telling the people the story and bringing them in. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. When you're just masturbatory, it's about seeking pleasure right away.
Yeah, and you got to wait on your pleasure.
Yeah, you gotta
wait.
Like I put down a towel, right? I light candles, treat myself right. I got to romance myself. And similarly, you must romance the audience with the story. You got to tell them why you're coming to this conclusion.
I just do it on the toilet.
What?
So a lot of foreplay for you.
I'm missing my
so romantic, Steve.
So
I don't even know.
I think it's time to go on that note.
Jeez.
Any final words?
Well, yeah.
I'm hot.
You're hot. I'm hot. I'm hot too, and he's got to go to the bathroom. I will say that it has been a pleasure once again having you on and telling these stories. There's no doubt, regardless of what we've been through with each other, this show dominated Atlanta. I've many times.
And this episode is going to dominate Atlanta, just like the last one did. I wore a different shirt so people could tell the episodes apart.
Nice.
Yeah.
Same here.
I for a second I reached to grab the shirt that I wore last time. I said,
can't do that.
That's funny.
We're not going to get any looks. People will say, I've seen that.
You're right. You got to change up your clothing.
Yeah.
Imagine, I don't know about you, but when you do these podcasts every week and you do something on camera, I am now on the 26th. I still got shirts, but damn.
Yeah, it makes you think now that you're
I can't wear the same thing
as well. Yeah,
got to acquire a new wardrobe.
Yeah, I got a new wardrobe.
So people won't not watch the episode.
Well, we'll do a quick cigarette break and close it up. Just tell people what you're doing. As always, I still assume you're doing your acting stuff, but how can people see what it is you're putting out there?
Go to regularguys.com or iTunes for the Regular Guys Review Podcast. Another big episode coming. This is going to be something else. It's going to be a little more darker because it deals with 9/11 and our feelings about it then and since. Very important. And you know what? If you'd like to participate in that one, I'd love to have your take on we talked about it a little bit here, and I think it was good. But let's do a little more if you'd like to. I'll record you.
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
And I want to hear your take on that day because I think it's important if we're telling all our story about it.
Yeah, it changed. Life changed.
Yeah. And the WACHS Modcast is in hiatus while I do my other things. I've been going to film school. to get into post-production, and I'm pretty close to doing that.
Wow.
Yeah, I got my certification and all the proper things, so... you can hear the greatness of the adventures of Atlanta's #1 movie extra on the WACHS Modcast, Atlanta's #1 smartphone radio show. And you can find that at houseofwachs.com, and you can also go to iTunes and the usual podcast houses.
I will tell you in closing, too, just so you know one thing about him, because he got a kick. We had Jimmy Barron in and talked about him being...
I love that episode. Yeah, I love Jimmy Barron.
Yeah, me too.
And he talked shit about me, but that's okay.
Yeah, we had fun with you. Risky Business and Sure Thing, the movies he was in. Larry, just so you can see his acting ability, go to the end of Major League 2, right?
That's just the first one of my... Yeah, Major League 2. I'm in that one.
If you go to the end of Major League 2, you will see a guy in a red coat and high-top tennis shoes come out and get dead center of the camera and do a pirouette. It's Larry.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the game.
That was my first extra job.
When everybody's celebrating, he's smart. Everybody else runs into the crowd. Not Larry. He goes to the very front, to the center, does a pirouette in a red coat.
It was 5 a.m. Everybody else had left, and the hardcore stayed because I figured I'll stay because I think there's going to be a scene where we run on the field.
You were smart.
Yeah, I took a look at the crew sheet. A scene, run on the field. So I positioned myself gradually to get there, and I had a clear shot in front of the camera.
And it took it.
Yeah. Oriole Park, Camden Yards.
That was awesome. Oh, my God. That is Larry Wachs from the regular guys. And, of course, you know now how to reach him.
Come on.
Atlanta legend in radio. This is Brett Barney. God bless you. And, of course, Tyler Maynard. We are the Yet Come On Show, brought to you by Oxygen Financial. Again, with 2 locations in Atlanta. Just go to oxygenfinancial.net. This is Southside Steve and a Yet Come On to You.